ਧਾਲੀਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਜੀ ਹੈ।
Oh, thank you very much, Gurpreet Singh.
ਸੋ ਧਾਲੀਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਰਨਬੇ ਦੀ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪੈਲਿਟੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਆਟਵਾ ਨੂੰ ਤਜਵੀਜ਼ ਭੇਜੀ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਜ਼ਰਾਈਲ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਸਾਜੋ ਸਮਾਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਦਾ ਉਹ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਦਾ ਕਰਕਸ ਕੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਬੈਕਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਓਰੀਜਨੇਟ ਹੋਇਆ?
Acha ji. Thank you, Gurpreet Singh. I just wanted to mention that if I might have a video problem sometimes. If I did, I will let you know. But or you can let me know because I think sometimes technology doesn't work well. But so thank you. Yes, in August of this year, City of Burnaby actually took the initiative to bring a resolution in front of the council, which was to actually had three operative clauses in it. The first one was to write a letter to the Prime Minister asking them to ban or cancel any import and export that's taking place between Israel and Canada in regards to any arms or any other material that's assisting Israel in the warfare against Palestinian people. That was first part of it, and also we said in the motion in the resolution that the temporary resident visa that Canada has deployed to the Ukraine and Russian war conflict that is happening of the invasion of Russia, and that has been very successful. Up to 300,000 plus Ukrainians have moved, have established into Canada, and a lot of up to probably close to 1 million applications have been approved. But not much is happening from Palestine refugees to or people who are suffering to come to Canada. It's very slow, very little happening. And the third part was that as a city, we will be signatory to the Apartheid-Free Communities Pledge, which is an international undertaking of communities who are progressive and want to eradicate racism, other form of discrimination, etc. So those were the three operative clauses of the resolution, which were unanimously passed, and we did follow through with all those. Now, this as a background to this, Gurpreet, even when the war started in 2 years ago, City of Burnaby was one of the first one to actually, at that time, call for a ceasefire because the damage was so vast and sort of out of proportion what had taken place from Hamas into Israel versus what was happening to the defenseless, innocent people in Palestine. There was in the thousands at the time, over 30,000 people had been killed or something when we called for a ceasefire from both sides. And we wrote to the Prime Minister at that time as well. So this isn't the first time we raised the issue. City of Burnaby is strong believer in doing the right thing, which I think all orders of government should be doing, that is standing up for human rights, and where we see that justice is being denied and suppression is happening. We took similar steps when farmers in India were being denied the right to demonstrate in Delhi a few years ago. We went on record to say that that protesting is a human right, and they should be allowed to protest, and conversation should happen. Dialogue wasn't taking place. Similarly, at the local level, we had previously also spoken out on the caste system that continues, particularly in the Punjabi community, in Hindu community, and in Canada. And they seem to be, and sometimes even very openly, doing their racist behavior. And we've spoken on that and included the caste as a category in our other forms of racism and discrimination that we hold. This is based again on the premise that even though our direct responsibility isn't about speaking on matters that are not in the responsibility of the local governments, and many local governments shy away from that because they feel that it's pointless, nobody cares, it's not something we will affect, so why bother? But we haven't, as a city of Burnaby, we said, well, whether it matters or not, it just standing shoulder to shoulder behind those people who are suffering. And I think that that bodes well for the city of Burnaby. There has been, in any all of these cases, Gurpreet, we did receive people complaints against what we had done.
Hmm.
But I must say, those things don't deter the council, and they were far and few between compared to what we received in terms of people actually reaching out to council and suggesting that this is the right thing to do.
Hmm.
So I believe we don't directly can intervene in many of those things, whether it's something happening in India or China or Israel or Palestine. But I think adding voice, adding moral support, and providing that support is paramount to those people who are suffering. They feel that a lot of people on their side.
Hmm. ਤਾਲੀਬਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਮੈਂ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪੈਲਿਟੀ ਬਾਰੇ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਕਲੇਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਨੀਸ਼ੀਏਟਿਵ ਲਏ। ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਜਾਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ, ਮੇਨ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਫਲਸਤੀਨ ਦਾ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਗਰਮਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ।
Yes. ਜੀ
ਅਸੀਂ
ਹਾਂ।
ਜਾਣਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਮਾਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਹਮਲੇ ਹੋਏ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਐਨਵਰਸਰੀ ਵੀ ਮਨਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਬੜਾ
ਜੀ
ਕੁਝ
ਹਾਂ।
ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ।
Yeah.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਬਰਨਬੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਅਪਾਰਥਾਈਡ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਜ਼ੋਨ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ ਇਹ, ਹਨਾ।
Right.
ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਦੱਸ ਸਕੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਿਸਟਰ ਨੂੰ, ਇਹਦੇ ਕੀ ਮਾਇਨੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪੈਲਿਟੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਾਕੀ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪੈਲਿਟੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ
Yes.
ਡਿਫਰ ਕਰੇਗੀ।
ਜੀ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਦਰਅਸਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਾਈਡ ਰੇਂਜਿੰਗ community are in I guess there are a few others who have done that. I can't really recall Gurpreet Singh,
Mhm.
but what it is basically an apartheid-free communities pledge.
Mhm.
Is a group of congregations that agrees to, like all of us, we agree to affirming our commitment to freedom, to justice, to equality, and to people, especially in Palestine. We oppose any form of racism, bigotry, discrimination, and oppression, and declare that our intention to support for Israel's apartheid, including they're declaring our intense opposition to Israel's apartheid regime, including settlers,
Mhm.
colonialism, and occupation of lands. Those are generally the three principles of that, which actually mentions Palestine and Israel. It's not a standard generally party free, but it does point out to that Israel is acting as an apartheid state,
Mhm.
and that is not acceptable to us.
ਰਾਈਟ। ਤਾਲਿਬਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਲਸਤੀਨ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੋਗਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹਾਊ ਸਿਗਨੀਫੀਕੈਂਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦੈਟ? ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਜ਼ ਇਟ ਇਨਫ ਔਰ ਮੋਰ ਨੀਡਸ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਡਨ? ਰਿਕੋਗਨੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਹੋਰ ਬੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ
Yes.
ਰਿਹਾ।
Um, I believe, Gurpreet, that's a good start to really the two nations, Palestinian, eventually getting to a place where they are still self-determination, and that's a basic human right. Whether they do it right or wrong, that's their call. We can't be judging people for asking and having that self-determination, which is a basic, fundamental human right to all humanity. I recognize that Canada and some of our allies had previously had mentioned that maybe a solution, but they have taken a step where they're saying that we are now we will recognize when Palestine state would be if it comes into existence. And all, yes, and there are some conditions they're speaking of, which which I think all free societies need to be, that free of any violence or any regimes that are considered as also taking measures that has hurt the humanity, such as Hamas has done in Israel. That we have to remember. Yes, that is not a good characteristic of a nation that we want to establish. There are a few things that they're working at, and I believe that was one of the things we did not go directly as a city to call for one because we hadn't done enough research on where Palestinians themselves stand. I had heard that there was some disagreement on how we approach that,
Right.
and if there was any going to be any losses. We didn't do that because, as I said, we being very limited in terms of our resources, in terms to do proper research, etc. We rely on community feedback and but personally, I believe that ultimately there ought to be a country
Hmm.
that all those people can call their home, and that has to be done, and we must stand for that.
ਤਾਲਿਬਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਅਖੀਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਗੱਲ ਜਾਣਨੀ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ 'ਚ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਯੂਕਰੇਨ ਦੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ, ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਲੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਯੂਕਰੇਨ ਦੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਓਪਨਨੈਸ ਵਿਖਾਈ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਰਿਫਿਊਜੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਸੈਟਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲਾਇਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਕਾਫੀ ਜੋਸ਼ ਵਿਖਾਇਆ। ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹੈ ਬੀਸੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੋ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਵੋਦਕਾ ਤੇ ਬੈਨ ਲਾਤਾ, ਪਰ ਇਜ਼ਰਾਈਲੀ ਵਾਈਨ ਤੇ ਬੈਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ। ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਕਾਫੀ
Yes.
ਚਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜ਼ਾਇਨਿਸਟ ਲੌਬੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਫੜਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਦਿਨੋਂ ਦਿਨ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਕਿ ਇਜ਼ ਇਟ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਫ ਰੇਸਿਜ਼ਮ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜ਼ਾਇਨਿਸਟ ਲੌਬੀ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਮਾਮਲਾ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ? ਯੋਰ ਥਾਟਸ।
Yeah. Uh, 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 Gurpreet, the country's international policy relationship are quite complicated. And effectively, I think it's driven by the economic interests that exists in situ in I guess when we look at the Russian and Canadian economic interest, which is far less than what has been happening with Israel. I think the diaspora has much to do with it as well. When you have the populations of two countries that have been very integrated, I think the governments generally are a little sensitive to where they go in terms of how fast they go. But I am aware of that things don't happen exactly like similarly which are happening in other situations as well. We are very quick to respond to some of the regions of the emergency region, happens in certain parts of the world, but the others get left behind. Africa gets left behind, Asia gets left behind, and particularly, in this case, Palestinian people have, there's no reason for the 4 decades or 5 decades of being a stateless, homeless population, or generations have grown into that fair where they are almost under the direct supervision rule of a foreign country. That's not what the democracy like ours, Canada, should be supporting. We should be strongly speak against it. And I think it's a combination of many things: economics, the built-in racism, where some people are not considered as equal as the others are, and the result shows. And I think even in Afghanistan, we haven't been able to put enough energy and focus to that we had previously committed to, and rescuing
Hmm.
families who were really standing with Canada all along,
Hmm.
and their lives been in danger, and we haven't really done that. I think there are a lot of room there for us to correct that wrong, and similarly also in this conflict that we haven't been reaching out as well as we can.
ਧਾਲੀਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵਕਤ ਕੱਢਿਆ। ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਸਕਿਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਐਡ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੋ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਬਿਫੋਰ ਲੈਟ ਯੂ ਗੋ।
I just wanted to thank you, Gurpreet, for raising the awareness on human rights. Um,
ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ।
it has been one of the primary driving force behind what you do every day. Over the last few decades, I've seen, and I think it needs to be acknowledged. I think the media all across this country, if we are really committed to democracy, need to be raising that voice fearlessly. There's repercussions of everything when you stand on any issue, you will get that. And I think I send kudos to those journalists like yourself and human rights advocates who have done this. And I think governments need to do more than what we have been doing.
थैंक यू धलीवाल साहब, थैंक्स फॉर योर काइंड वर्ड्स। टॉक टू अगेन, बाय फॉर नाउ।
Yes, it's my pleasure. And good night.